Okay, hi everyone. I'm here with Kelsie and we are doing a hot seat today. So we're just doing a bit of an interview. So welcome, Kels. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Let's get started. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have achieved so far? Give us your results in terms of mental and physical and nutritional, everything.
Well, I think it's been almost 12 weeks since I started, and I'd been doing quite a bit of exercise like every week. I wasn't really seeing any results. Like I was getting fitter. Came across MADS and BBM, and I have like noticed such a change in my physique and obviously my weight and my measurements as well, but also with the nutrition. Like I've just learnt so much about food, which is really helpful to know, I guess, more about the macros. I've learnt so much, and I'm excited to keep going.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So do you feel like what you needed to do to get the results was just alter your nutrition in a way?
Yeah, I think that's what made a massive impact, rather than because I haven't really increased how often I exercise. It's just all about the nutrition and what I've been eating, and I haven't been starving myself, definitely.
Yeah.
Not doing that. So it plays such a big part in our lives, and I just don't think we know enough about it. So it's really good to know.
Yeah. I mean, unless you've been brought up in a family that, like, even being brought up in a family that loves, eating whole foods and everything. Yeah, we don't get taught much about our nutrition at school or at home as much. So unless you do a course or something like BBM, like a program, yeah, it's like, how are you supposed to know? You're not supposed to know.
I don't have expert opinion, but that's how I feel. Even if I wasn't exercising, but I was eating really well, I would see kind of changes in my body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have expert opinion because you have achieved the results, so you can speak on it because you've actually done, what it is that people want to do. So what changes have you actually noticed in your body? Like, what specifically are you enjoying? Are you happy about?
Well, I'm fitting into a lot of old clothes, which is really good. I can see how unhappy I was just in myself, and now I feel so much happier. I'm so much more confident. Um, and I haven't even had that like huge changes in myself, but it's just enough for me to, I guess, enough for me to see, and other people, because it's nice when you get compliments. So I've definitely toned up. I've lost some body fat and like in my face as well. Yeah,
that's nice. So like, because when you joined, you didn't really have that much like fat to lose. You didn't have that much weight to lose. So for like, it's not always about the weight loss. Like sometimes it's about a body recomposition, which is basically what we're doing now, which is where you just lean out, reduce the excess bit of body fat that you want to get rid of, and then you just really start to tone and lean out continuously and focus on increasing areas that you want to, like the glutes. And if you want to get like stronger abs, focus on that. It's basically just reducing that top layer of body fat and then focusing on building muscle underneath. So that gives you the tone look, which is what we're doing at the moment. Can you give us a bit of a run over of how your program has looked, how it's been structured, and then what your plan is moving forward with the program?
So for the last 12 weeks, I've been eating in a deficit of calories to what I should be eating for my body height and weight and size, which is why I've been seeing so many changes, I guess. And as I continue doing BBM, I think obviously MADS is going to help me change my goals. And moving forward, I'd love to, like, there is still a few areas that I want to target, but just, building muscle now would be really exciting to see, I guess, those kind of changes, because those again would be different to like fat loss. Building the muscle was going to change my body in a whole different way. So that's definitely something I'm excited to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the other really exciting thing, and I love it when people get to the point that you're at, because pretty much, do you feel like we're at a place now where you're kind of happy with the amount of body fat percentage you've got, or like you want to reduce a little bit more? Like, whereabouts are you sitting there?
I think I'm definitely keen to go a bit further.
Mm-hmm.
I can still like see it on myself. So
Mm-hmm.
there is areas that I would like to see if I can lose a bit more body fat before
Mm-hmm.
I start building muscle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I am really happy with how I am now. So if I keep going and nothing's changing, obviously that's my body telling me to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So as I was saying, before I asked that question, it is really exciting when people get to this point now. So in a couple of weeks, we'll probably be where you want to be in terms of body fat loss, because it really won't take us that much longer. And then we get to slowly increase your nutrition, so that you can start to build muscle. So it's exciting when you get to start eating more food and you don't gain any body fat. You just start to gain lean muscle, and it is a bit of a longer process, but it's so worth it. And when done the right way, the results can be, lifelong. You can keep your results for a long time. I quite often will see people do like a 12-week program and then, let's say, get the results that you've gotten, and then they just don't really know what to do from there, and they're still not at the place they want to be at. So I always say to people, just do your full transformation once and then go. Otherwise, people end up coming back and then they have to start again from where they were. And I just always say, like, dedicate like a year to yourself. Dedicate this one time to getting to the fitness level, the physique changes, learning as much about nutrition as you can, about your health as you can. And then once you've learnt how to maintain that, then you're fine. You can just go off and do it forever.
Like as you said, like dedicating a whole year to it. It seems like such a big thing, but it's not. We've just done 3 months. I've just done 3 months of this, and it's gone so quickly. And I would do it over again, like tomorrow. If I had to start from the start, I wouldn't change it. Like I would do it continuously, because it's just so helpful, and it's so much easier than people think. I just think they think it's so hard to diet and things like that, but it's not, when you know and you're being taught by someone that's really knowledgeable and really helpful and it's just there for you. So
Yeah, that is so nice to hear. And that's exactly what Izzy said when she was giving her piece of advice on her hot seat. She said, it's just not as hard as you think it's going to be.
yeah, and like I think people are also scared to put money to it as well. I know, like, it's a lot to say, like, you paying money each week to do something like this, but it's not, because you've got someone there to support you. And doing it by yourself I feel like people try and do it by themselves and they're never going to get to where they want to be because they don't have the resources and the knowledge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no.
And the really weird thing about that, and it's something that I've always not understood because I spend a lot on my health and fitness, but if you were to line up the things that people spend that amount of money on, like on their coach or their car, partying, clothes, skincare, what do you think is the most important thing to all of those people? Probably how they feel, probably how they look, probably their body. But for some reason, they don't prioritize it first. And I do find that really strange. But at the end of the day, it is really just what you value, I guess. So if you really value going out and spending money on dinners on the weekend, spending lots on drinks on the weekend, or clothes or spa days, whatever it is, it's just what you value. And I love everyone that does BBM so much because they value themselves and they value their health and their own body and their physical health as well. So
Yeah, and I think I've definitely, like, as we go and like as I'm seeing myself do this, like I'm so proud of myself for doing it for 3 months, because it's such a, like, it is a long time, even though it's gone really quickly.
Mm.
Yeah, and like I think the more I do it, the more I am valuing myself, because I'm like continuing, and I'm not just going to give up tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I don't eat the best every day. Like, there are days when, you know, you don't want to track what you eat, but you're allowed to have those days. So it's just knowing that you can do that and not, I guess, ruin what you've done.
Yes. And I guess it's not a typical fitness program. It's not a typical program that you might see online. I guess it is more of like a friendship, just supportive place where it's not like you have to do this by this or this happens. It's just kind of like we chat and find out how your day went, what went down, how we can make sure that you're set up for success, and just little steps along the way. I think people think like programs like this are like they're losing so much weight so quick and they're feeling fatigued and they're feeling tired, and it doesn't have to be that way. And in actual fact, doing it that way is like, it just doesn't work. I've seen so many people fail doing it that way. But the reason that like you and the other girls are so successful when they do this is because we take it slowly. We take it, you know, in a sustainable way. Like you said, focusing a year to focusing on this instead of an 8-week challenge or, you know, something like that. Yeah. I was going to ask you about, or talk to you about tracking. So you were saying, you know, you were a little bit overwhelmed when you first started because you'd never done anything like this and you had to learn the process, and it takes a little bit to get good at it. You know, I think in the first 2 weeks people are like, you know, not going to be good at it because it's like anything, you got to practice. But this is not something that you have to do forever. Do you see how after spending, like you said, 12 months doing something like this and learning the nutritional value of food, protein, carbohydrates, fats, micronutrients, understanding how much your body needs, what portion sizes look like, does that make you feel like you will be able to do this without apps one day, and this will be in your head? Like, can you see that might start to happen?
Yeah, definitely. I can already see how much I'm kind of learning about portion sizes, and knowing that I don't have to actually weigh everything, because I can kind of tell what it is, like how much it weighs, by looking at it from like just learning from the last 3 months. Yeah. So, and I don't like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, it's just a kind of ballpark.
Yeah, and exactly. That's what I always say. We're not bikini competitors. We're not trying to get on stage. We're just getting an understanding of how much we're eating, because, you know, when people talk about intuitive eating, and you should intuitively know how much to eat. If that was the case, there wouldn't be like chronic obesity, and there wouldn't be any problems with, you know, overeating. And we all, not all, but a lot of us have those problems with not understanding or being able to listen to our own cues. So then sometimes tracking is just exactly what someone needs to just learn those things that they might have not understood their whole life. You know, people that struggle consistently with portion sizes and overeating and always feeling bloated or always feeling a little bit overweight and not feeling comfortable in their own body or in their own clothes. Tracking is just like a really easy, simple tool to help you to achieve what you want to achieve. Yeah. It's a tool that you can have, you know, in 5 years. Let's say you maintain your physique beautifully for the next 5 years and you're feeling amazing. You've not been tracking for 4 years. And then over Christmas, you put on 2 kilos of body fat and you're happy, you're fine, but you know that the bra is starting to feel a little bit tight. So all you do is jump back into your tracking again for 2 weeks and get yourself straight back to where you want to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I love it so much. And there are people who don't love it or think that it's negative, but I think you're the person to judge that for yourself. If someone sees it as negative, then that's their thing and they obviously shouldn't do it. But if it works well for you, then it works well for you. Do you see that there are people who, do you think there's a stigma around trying to lose weight or trying to change your body? Do you think there's a bit of a stigma around that?
Massively. Like, I am constantly, like, even now, I constantly have friends say to me, "You don't need to lose weight. You don't need to do this." And I'm like, I know I don't need to do it, but I want to do it for myself. And like, I clearly am unhappy with how I'm feeling and like looking and things. So it is like, as soon as you say you want to lose weight, like, people don't, they kind of don't want to support you in doing that, because I feel like it's them saying you need to. Like, if they supported you and said, like, went along with it, it would be like they were saying you need to do it. So yeah, I'm like, all my friends all the time are saying, you don't need to do it. You don't need to do this. Why are you tracking your food? Why are you weighing it? But my brother gives me a lot of crap for weighing my food, but it's fine.
And the thing is again, like, those people, they do care about you, and they probably see it in their mind as a negative thing. But I wish that people would say, why are you doing that? Are you enjoying it? Oh, that's great. Then why do you enjoy it? You know, as opposed to, I wish that people would ask more about, is it making you happy? And then you could say so much, like, I'm really enjoying this. I feel in control for the first time in my life. I feel like I can achieve what I want to achieve with my physique and my fitness. This is about my body, and nothing I'm doing is negative for me. It's healthy. This is one of the healthiest ways that you could possibly do it, is by getting yourself a nutrition coach that's going to, you know, be there to support every single decision that you make, every single week, every single check-in, without doing it on your own, crash dieting and making yourself sick and being hungry. And, you know, it's actually a really positive thing for someone to do for themselves. And I think it's a shame that there is a stigma around it, because I feel like when people are doing a program like this, they're not as like willing to tell their friends about it, you know, or as excited to tell their friends about it. But yeah, I just think, I wish that people would ask more questions and ask the person more about if they love this or if they're doing it for a different reason, you know. What is a piece of advice for you to give someone who is starting on day one today?
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Yeah, well, just keep doing it. And I think, like, everyone's different and they have their own way of doing it. Like, don't feel like you have to, I guess, be really fancy with what you eat, and have all of these amazing recipes all the time, because that can be really overwhelming. And that was quite overwhelming for me. So I have kind of the same things that I always eat, but just like find what works for you, and then you'll see the changes that you want. Yeah.
That's beautiful advice. It does take trial and error. And if you have the mindset when you start of like, I need to achieve this in this short amount of time, and it's all or nothing, like, it's not going to last. So I always say to people, come on in when they first join. I'm like, come on in, take your time. Like, it's going to be a few weeks before you even understand what's going on. And then they're like, okay, cool. Well, I'll talk to you in 2 weeks about all this. So yeah, don't give up, stick with it. And it's not as hard as you think as well, like you said before. Thank you so much, gorgeous. And it's great to have you.
Yes, it's fun. I love it. I would recommend everyone.
Oh, you're the cutest. Thank you.